I don't think she's on that level as far as fame goes. But maybe I'm wrong.
The rich and famous are obsessed with her. I really believe, like, she did that concert for, you know, that hour special on TV or whatever. I watched it, and the entire audience was just like these uber famous people, and they had talked to, who's the stoner guy?
Which one?
He does all those movies. My favorite he played where he got knocked up. Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite was he was on Howard Stern, and he was like right in the front row of that concert. And he said that he had no idea where he was going. Like, it was really hush hush, like for those people to know that they were going to this taping of her show. And they totally, like, they only had like all the big hitters there too, which I thought was bizarre. Like, all the Tonight Show people were there, you know, just people that were going to promote her. But he said he got there and they plopped him like right up front. And he said he was like stoned out of his mind and he had no fucking idea where he was going or what he was seeing. So he was like, and the way he laughs and everything, it was just hysterical. The funniest interview. Yeah. But I'm like,
he doesn't really strike me as an Adele fan either.
No, he said he had no idea where he was even going. Like, if I feel like it was like hush hush for a lot of those. Ellen, Lizzo, like, it was just like the audience alone was just insane. All right. And on the people I didn't recognize, I'm sure were like producers, you know what I mean? Just all of that. But when I watched it and I saw all those people in the audience, I immediately was like, Adele, no, you're like way too full of yourself and pretentious right now. And I am getting like total like diva Barbara Streisand vibes from this whole thing. And now the fact that she quit because she didn't like the way the set was, I'm done. Like, a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm going to say there's this one song on the radio that I've heard, like, because I just started listening to music again. I normally listen to the news, but I can't. It's just too much right now. Like, it's not even entertaining. Like, I honestly, part of me misses Trump for that, but we won't talk about that. But I started listening, and this one song, it must be on her new album. It's so Amy Winehouse. Like, for a minute, I was like, oh my God, did they dig up an old Amy Winehouse song that we haven't heard yet? You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And I loved it. I loved Amy Winehouse. Like, I mean, when she died, all I kept thinking is I am never going to hear a new song from her. Like, I just loved her and her style. Like, she brought that whole style. Like, that was something that nobody else had. And
right.
So her new song, it must be new because I've been hearing it. But anyway, she sounds like.
Is it that Easy on Me song?
No.
Not that one?
It's this one. I'm telling you, if you close your eyes and listen, you would think it was Amy Winehouse. It's, you know, and she even has the little background singers like Amy did. And, you know, anyway, it brought back so many memories of like, God, I would give anything for some new Amy Winehouse music. But I do enjoy that one song because it, you know, it reminds me of her. But now she's become a total diva to me. And I'm like completely like, I don't know. I am so like, I guess I need to read more of the story. Like, why wouldn't they? Adele would have been scrutinized and judged on a different scale. So I don't know. I've got to dive deeper. Like, this article, I just looked it up. Didn't tell me too much of the reason, but yeah. I don't know. In other ridiculous news, okay, anybody following the whole Lala Kent crazy shit?
Is there more? Like, I know she and Randall split up, but is there something else that happened?
Right, he was supposedly cheating. Well, she is one bitter bitch, okay? She is angry. And she apparently must have like a podcast out or something. Oh, it is. She has a podcast. Every week. Give them Lala, it's called.
I listen every week. I really like it.
You do listen?
I listened to today's. Today she had Melissa Gorg on it.
Oh, please. That's another one, which that show's coming back next week. Okay. Mwah, Teresa, I'm going to see you soon. But anyway, She had to say on the podcast that like when she had sex with Randall, all she did was like couldn't wait for it to be over and just wanted it done. And she could not have, like, it would kill her to have sober sex with him because she couldn't even bear to take it. Like,
I mean, that's
bitch,
sad.
you're admitting you're like a money grubbing little bitch with him. Okay, so I don't know. The whole thing is just, now that they're broke up, she has just got so much shit to talk about him. But when they were together, she spent all of her time talking about, it's not about the money. It's because I really love him. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. I'm not down with her at all. But Jen,
I've never been a big Lala fan.
But Jen enjoys her, right, Jen?
I like the podcast.
All right.
I think she sounds super sweet. I've never heard that stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I listen at work, so I'm sure there's stuff I miss.
Oh, all right. Well, she's angry. And I'm telling you, like, every week there's another like comment that Lala has to say about him. Like, just like completely, I don't know. And then I thought that was a thirsty ass thing when she like did that shit and was like tagging 50 Cent in her posts after they broke up.
That's
Remember?
hilarious. That the whole Fofty thing is the best thing to come out of the Lala and Randall relationship.
Yeah. In other news, you know, people are dying like crazy, right? Like we lost Louis Anderson, you know, as a kid. I remember growing up and watching his comedy and just thinking he was so great, you know.
I loved Louis Anderson. My mom was like a huge fan, and I grew up watching him too. And I truly love him. I was sad to hear he passed.
So sad, right? I mean, he was so unique, his comedy, and so different. And I mean, just, you know, like Sam Kinison was another one when I just used to, you know, they stood out. They were different. They were unique, you know. But we lost Meatloaf, the meat, also. And let's not forget Betty.
And Danny Tanner.
Oh, that's right.
Bob Saget. Yep.
And, you know, the thing about all, you know, these last few people that have passed, as far as Bob Saget goes, I met him briefly when he was here at the Carlson. I went to see him. He did a 2-hour show, but his last hour he pulled out a guitar and started singing, and I'm like, I'm out. Okay, I'm over this. But I mean, he was definitely funny. And but before the show, he came out to the bar and was talking. He was a very nice guy. But all these stories have been coming out about him since he passed, about all the stuff he has done that nobody knew about. Like this, like, was he like a walking fucking saint? I mean,
yeah, just a closet do-gooder. You just never heard about it.
I mean, there was so much crazy shit. I was listening to Howard Stern, and even like Ralph, who's like, you know, one of Howard's best buddies, was on there crying about it. And he's like, what do you cry for? Like the Buster's chops they do, you know? And he said that when he found out from John Stamos that Ralph's sister had, I can't pronounce it, it's something where your skin hardens and you die. He got her one of the best doctors and saved her life. And I guess Bob Saget's sister died from it too. And there just so many stories coming out about stuff that he did that nobody knew about. And I was like, you know, apparently this guy was like a really great guy. I haven't really heard much about how he did pass, but they said his luggage was packed and he was ready to leave. And his wife didn't hear from him and sent the room service up. And they said he was on his bed, kind of laying back, but he had his hand on his chest. So I feel like he probably had a massive heart attack.
Yeah, I think that seems like
because a lot. And then he had just posted about his show, Margaret, Not Far From You.
Yeah, it was right near me.
Yeah,
and I was on.
Yeah, like what an amazing crowd, and how, you know, no matter what, like he was doing what he loved and making people laugh and getting them through this dark time was like what he lived for. I mean, it was the sweetest post. And it was written. So I feel like nobody said they had any indication he wasn't feeling well. He never said anything to his wife. Maybe he was having a little bit of chest pain. I feel like he probably just had a massive heart attack, because they said that.
Me too.
But yeah, I mean, I was shocked at what a great guy he seemed to really be. In other news, we're to Meatloaf, right? We know Meatloaf passed. Meatloaf had a very, very serious bout of COVID, like a couple days before he died, because he had some meetings he had to cancel because he was very, very, very sick with COVID. But nobody will discuss how he passed away. And so he was a big like a Trumper, anti-vaxxer type of guy.
Yeah, he was. Really and I assume it probably was COVID, because if they're not saying it with this public as he was against the vax, I think
right.
You're right.
And I thought, well, we haven't seen anything about him. Maybe he was sick, but apparently no, he had some big show in the works that he was working on. I don't know what, something with like his music, like there was something that was big that he was, working on. So he wasn't really like, deathly ill or sick so I feel like he probably did die from COVID, and they're keeping it under wraps because he was like this huge anti-vaxxer. But I wanted to talk about that really quick, the whole anti-vaxxer thing. And okay, so I have a cousin who passed away from COVID. She's like, I don't know, 3 months ago, 2 months ago now. It was during the Delta virus, okay? And it was like before the Omicron. So I think he had gotten the Delta, which we all know is, a lot worse. But he was a huge anti-vaxxer, and he was constantly posting on Facebook about the vaccine. I mean, it was obsessive, him and his wife. To the point where I was like, oh, not another one. You know what I mean? And it was so sad to me because the posts were beyond just anti-vax. It was like that cult, you know what I mean, Margaret? That like
QAnon stuff.
Yeah, like crazy, like things about the vaccine, and then next thing I know, his wife posted, please pray. He's in the hospital with a ventilator with COVID, but we know it's, he'll get through it. And then he died from it. And one of our, I will say, kind of like a customer at work, he's a huge anti-vaxxer. I'm not putting that in my body. I don't know what that shit is. Doesn't wear a mask, whatever. Well, I found out today that he has COVID and he's really, really sick, and he had to go to the hospital today to get his horse dewormer. I don't know what they gave him, something, right? But here's my thing, like that shit's really not tested. So you're gonna go get these like crazy antidotes these fucking crazy cocktails to get better, but you won't get the vaccine.
Right.
They're absolutely insane.
Well, and they get sick and their O2 drops and they head to the hospital. And I'm like, okay, so you trust the doctor now, but they were a bunch of quacks a week ago.
Isn't it insane? So, I mean, here I'm thinking like, it's not, I mean, it's to me, I don't even know how to say this without sounding like a fucking monster, but it's these anti-vaxxing outspoken people that end up getting COVID and dying. Like, it's insane.
Yep. It's almost like a COVID karma.
Yeah. Am I right? So anyway, the whole article I just read about Meatloaf probably dying from COVID, and they're not saying, made me think about like, boy, I'll tell you, like that is some crazy karma shit, man,
I read a subreddit on Reddit and they call it the Herman Cain Awards. And it's basically people just post of people they know that were really openly anti-vax, anti-COVID, you know, it's not real, it's all a hoax. They share their Facebook posts. And then like you